Season 8 continues its quality with 2 megalomaniacs in green armor, and another fighting game match comes in with hype hitting us like a truck. That and more on today's... Wait, not more, what? On today's episode of BrobusCast Death Battle Edition. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of BrobusCast Death Battle Edition. I don't know why I included that last part, but either way, I'm your host, Brobuscus. With me today is ZDogg.
Death Battle. The world is too big for you to control.
And Richard.
Death Battle. Yay! It keeps getting better.
It sounded like you had something there and then you just lost it. So you're like, yeah!
Yeah! Heck yeah! Alright.
Keeps getting better.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Definitely.
Which on that note, I don't think there's much more we really need to say. A new Death Battle came out.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And
It was pretty good.
I think this falls into another. I think this is yet another case of why is this as good as it is.
Yeah.
We have ourselves today. Lex Luthor versus Doctor Doom. A match
Two
that
returning combatants.
a match that no one was hyped for, I assume.
Meh.
But one that ended up surprising lots of people anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. Which is good.
Okay, so
So,
shock and
results out of the way first.
shock and surprise to the, I don't know where I'm going with this. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Doom won.
Wait, what?
Ah, shit.
No way.
To the absolute utter surprise of absolutely no one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, even to those who, like, were defending Lex and, like...
It's okay.
Nope. Okay. Even to someone, like, even to that Lex, what am I trying to say? Even though Lex stood a better chance than everyone thought he would, yeah. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
English.
Yeah, no, I agree. I generally tried to hype up Lex a little bit better, even though, ironically, I ended up going with Doctor Doom. I still felt like it was my duty as a DC fan to try and show, or at least, tell people that, look, this isn't going to be one-sided. This is going to be an actual debate, and there's going to be some back-and-forth moments between these two. And in the end, Lex will have a difficult challenge.
And I mean, to your credit, even though you went for Doom, like, you weren't wrong.
Yes.
So, like, Lex definitely stood a lot better of a chance than people gave him credit for.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. Still lost, but, I mean, hey, like, that kind of stuff just happens, I suppose. Although I gotta admit, as much as I do prefer Lex, and as much as I would have preferred if he had won, it is really satisfying to see a DC Herald get their skull caved in. After they win how many fights? Like.
Yeah, no, I feel like the trend is now just continuing, because Marvel is now closing the gap between them and DC in terms of their win-loss ratio.
What was the last DC Herald tier loss? Was it Lobo?
That sounds about right. Hold on.
Yeah, no.
I think it was Lobo, but...
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, no, like with Lobo, and then, last year, of course, we had non-heralds, like...
Well, yeah, like,
Red Hood.
But they lose almost all the time.
Yeah, no. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it was Lobo. But then, like, what was it before that? Was it Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Was it really Wonder Woman back in like 2011? Like, was that the last?
Cat.
No, wait, no. I think it was Batman.
No. I mean, like the top fighters, the top tiers.
Batman's in the top tier.
Let's not get into that. Keep
Well,
talking
either
about the
way.
episode. Keep talking about.
Oh no! Oh wait, no! It was Lex before. It was Lex the last time. Never mind.
Okay.
I believe that was the last like big heavy hitter DC character to lose.
It's still Lobo. But either way.
Before Lobo, I mean.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. Either way, it's nice to see that again because man, is it satisfying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, good to see more Marvel wins. They've been needing to catch up.
What are you talking about? They've been catching up.
I know, but they still need to go more. I have actually not been keeping track of their win-loss record anymore.
Okay.
I kind of lost it. Last I checked, they were doing pretty bad. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This is a pretty good episode, all things considered.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Hashtag thumbnails matter. This thumbnail is.
This thumbnail rocks, actually. Like, it actually
Yeah, it does.
legitimately
Like,
rocks.
they don't use the.
Gosh, they changed it.
They actually use the war suit, which I was a little disappointed by. I was really hoping they would use the Everyman Lex Luthor render, because that is his main trump card in this, and I would like, and it's just great iconography. In my opinion, but I'm okay with them using the war suit once again.
Yeah, it's his most iconic look, so it's whatever.
Well, I would argue his business suit is his most iconic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got nothing really much to add to this. It's really good. They've been nailing it recently, so
yeah, no,
whatever.
Yeah, it was an actual debate. It was pretty close, back and forth. And Doom still shows that he's one of Marvel's top heavy hitters.
Yep.
Does not fail.
Yes, no, he doesn't.
Except for all the times he fails.
Well, let's not talk about that. Man.
Although to Doom's credit, I think his only actual legitimate fail was against Squirrel Girl. Because every other time he's failed, it was a Doom bot. I think. I don't know. But either way. I guess going into the analysis, it was mostly standard.
The editing was the best part about it, but other than that, the analysis was pretty subpar.
Nick is like God tier editing.
Dude, Nick's showing off. He's
for real.
Of course he is. Why shouldn't he?
Get this man on more episodes, please.
Please, like I've said it before, but like if you
actually get him on the next Archie Comics episode, Archie Sonic episode. I really want to see how we'll handle that, but yeah.
Yeah, they said that there was someone coming this season that had like a heavy emphasis on like motion picture. I'm pretty sure. Like that needed like heavy like motion panels to make the analysis work. So maybe Nick will come back for that, whatever it is.
Please, please do.
Because Nick he nails it with the comic book characters.
Yeah, he just makes the panels feel alive.
Yeah.
They come to life. So.
Yeah, it's good stuff. No jabs at Boomstick's story this episode. Just one little jab at his dad being a deadbeat.
Yes, because we certainly haven't had a lot of those in the past.
Just wait, they'll bring them all out next episode. Oh no.
Yeah, watch. Given what next episode is, that's possible. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Dummy swapped Wiz and Boomstick's minds. That was kind of funny. It's also just nice to see Dummy again after he was completely absent in. Was he absent in Shadow vs. Ryuko? I forget.
I think so. Actually.
Maybe.
I forget which. Like, he's an absent in one of the episodes this season. I just forget which one.
That was definitely Ryuko Shadow then, because he definitely he did the contract signing and the. Something.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And the force joke, the force beer joke.
Yep, that's right. I forgot about that. Yep, you're right. So it was Shadow Ryuko then.
Yeah. And hey, I thought it was clever how he showed up. So.
Yeah. It's also just nice to see Dummy happy. Dummy's just
I
like.
don't really give a shit if he's happy or not. I don't like.
But yeah, not much to this one. They did a little bit more storytelling like they did with Yoda versus Mickey, which is pretty good. I always like when they do that sort of stuff. I do like how they brought up that Doom took up the mantle of Iron Man at one point. Because I actually totally forgot about that until the episode came up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, right, he was Iron Man, right?" He was like the infamous Iron Man or something like that. He grabbed one of Stark's suits, painted it in his color, still kept the cape, and now he's Iron Man. Cool stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I always wondered like whatever happened to that, and then they were like, "Oh, but don't worry, he went back to being evil." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Of course he did.
How about that animation, though?
Oh my gosh. Luis and his team were just showing off. Yeah. Dude, this animation rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. My boys, they did a great job. It was like the main highlight. There were so many Easter eggs. There were so many highlights. Like, I think the main thing animation-wise that just stuck out to me and that really will make this episode age a lot better as the years go by is the integration. Is the first ever integration between 2D sprites and
the 3D
Unreal
backgrounds.
rendered backgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, the backgrounds were superb in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really good. And I actually mentioned this. I did because this is something. This is the little things you don't pay attention to, but when you rewatch it so many times, you just notice the shadow work in this episode.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot better. Like the shadows just popped off when they were in close proximity with each other, and I'm just like, oh my god! It's like that's a good shadow detail right there.
Yeah, and there's even some like when Doom's on the ground, standing, like there's even some like reflection work. I'm like, dude, you guys did not need to do that, but man, am I glad you did. Despite being like a collection of pixels, it just looks so natural. It was good stuff. Good stuff, Luis. You madman. Also, they're flexing on us again with the puppet animation on Lex. Like there was a little bit of jank when he was doing his Superman's Injustice move, but overall they still like nailed it. I guess it's just a lot more noticeable here than in Shadow vs. Ryuko because it's not as flashy. Whenever there was jank with Ryuko, it was usually covered up by whatever particle effects they would have. But this time, no, it's definitely noticeable now, but even then, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Oh. I do. I love this animation. I love everything about it, and I just feel like we're just gonna end up sounding like broken fucking records at this point because yeah, they did. They like this is the second sprite fight of the season, and already it feels like my prediction is coming true that the sprite fights will be a definite highlight of this season in terms of animation because of how much flexing they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. Also, this took.
Oh, sorry.
So this took me an embarrassingly long time to realize, but the sprites for Lex when he's in his warsuit are reskinned Iron Man sprites, which is really funny in hindsight.
That explains a lot.
It's kind of ironic.
Yeah, for real.
Like, not only is that funny because that was Lex's previous opponent, but also Iron Man and Doom are compared to each other a lot, to the point where they might as well be mortal enemies if Reed Richards wasn't a thing. But yeah, so that was cool. I don't know how it took me so long to notice, but like I went back and rewatched it one day, and when Lex was using that 2D device on Doom and monologuing, I was like, wait a minute, I recognize those poses. Those are Iron Man sprites.
Yes. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
And oh, hey, look, Doom's not golden anymore.
Yay.
Are you leaving now?
What do you know?
Okay. Alright.
I don't know what was up with that, but originally, but
Dad and Jack in the box.
I'm guessing that's his family, so.
Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be back, everybody. I'm just going. I'm going down to the 10th levels of hell to fight a demon. I'll be back.
Tell Doom guy I said hi. Anyway,
I'm keeping that part. I'm keeping in.
yeah. All right.
That part I'm keeping in for. That part I'm keeping in for lore.
Yes. All right. Anyway, where were we?
Doom's not golden. That's where we were at.
Yeah, Doom's not golden. Hooray! That's good.
I don't know what was up with that originally, but I mean, I didn't mind too much, but
no, but
when I saw Doom's original sprite from Marvel 2 and it wasn't golden, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, probably just the spreading mirror, so
maybe. If I would just got those sprites and played in was like, oh wait, these are golden. Doom's supposed to be silver. Whoops, too late now. That may be what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if one of us is able to contact Mally or something. We could probably find out. But
we must know. Anyway. But yeah, honestly, like, yeah, they're a lot of good stuff. Are we talking about the hand-drawn elements yet?
No, we have not.
No. Okay, let's talk about those. They're
good.
really good. They're not like as long as the ones in Rigo Shadow, obviously, but like
they're also not as frequent.
No, but honestly, for like what we had, it was good. They did good on them.
Yeah. There's a lot of twists and turns in this one too. Like there's a lot of times when you think, oh, so this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one of the characters will just turn around and be like, no, this is not it.
No.
There's one example in particular. I totally forgot what I was going to say afterwards. So when Doom broke Lex's warsuit the second time, and Lex caught Doom's punch, I was like, wait, what in the world? And then I saw his eyes glowing. I'm like, oh, righty, Superman.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that part in the fight, but like, I'm cool with it. It turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like, oh, righty, Superman. That was literally my reaction. I really wish I was recording it.
Yeah.
Because I was also popping off the whole time. It was so cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it also gave us that really cool line. So I mean, hey.
Yeah, that's true. So this episode was written by Lousy. So when we got to that part, that exchange, like I think both he and Swan really wanted to like emphasize just how much how egotistical both of them are.
I'd say they pulled it off.
Yeah.
So.
But when they got to that, it was Liam who actually came up with the idea of that exchange. Like, what kind of a man are you? A Superman. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's cool. That's a cool exchange.
That's really freaking cool. So, that's kind of ironic considering Doom's previous. Or John. Dracula. Haha, anyway.
Yeah, he even says, but enough talk as well. It's funny. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then the death. Oh my gosh.
Alright. I mean, by far the best of the season. Let's just agree on that. Come on.
Might be the best one we've had in a while.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, I mean, this may sound weird, but honestly, I think this might be the best death out of Lex's 2 deaths. Like,
probably. I'd probably agree with you there.
The build up in Tony Lex is superior, but the death itself in this is freaking cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I really like how they executed.
There's like so many ways Lex had already died, and Doom was like, "No, I'm not done with you."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also a clever use of his mind transference. He transfers minds and then just punches himself through the chest.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
like,
he
screw myself.
Yeah, and then he blasts into the building and slices it in 5. Like,
that is so cool.
Yeah. It is really freaking cool.
I mean, it also gets points for not being an incineration death. Not that I have an issue with those, but we've had 3 in a row.
I mean, technically the aftermath, but no.
Well,
like
that doesn't count.
Yeah. But yeah. Gosh.
But no, I'm just surprised that I knew this episode was going to be good, but I'm surprised at how much they were able to do for a match that no one was excited for.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people had like this complete 180.
Yeah.
Going from the start, like when this was announced to now, to when this came out. Like when this was announced, a lot of people were like, "Oh, another Marvel vs. DC fight. Oh, it's 2 returning combatants. Oh, it's another tease character. Oh, it's this matchup." Like all of that sort of stuff. And then the episode came out, and everyone's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh, it was cool. I know. So a lot of people were talking about how this episode is very like dialogue heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to the whole megalo, or what is it? What do you say? Like the arrogant. Like these 2 are very arrogant, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if people actually consider it this way, but the way I saw it was like people were viewing it as like a problem, and I'm like, well, considering the characters, I wouldn't have it any other way. So I mean, like whatever. I also love how like Lex is strictly complimenting himself and is like pointing all the stuff at himself and insulting Doom, whereas Doom is like, oh yeah, your stuff is cool, but like mine's better.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it? Doom is kind of like the hero in this fight, which is weird to think about.
In a way, yeah.
Because he was also there to get
to get resources. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, get resources for Latveria. So, yeah, he was kind of being the hero there.
Oh, that reminds me. Better use of Doombot here than Invader, like by far.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was like they were like uses of the Doom bots. Like I thought it was just Doom the whole time.
Yeah, like it would be, like basically the beginning was just a Lex bot and a Doom bot, and like Lex like leapt out and like it's called a Lex, but I'm like,
Like I didn't even see a destroyed Doombot, so I was wondering like what did we ever get a Doombot? Like, or was that Doom the whole time?
Yeah.
Like we see the destroyed Lex bot when Lex is hopping into his war suit, but we don't ever see a broken down Doombot. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But yeah, better use of that than in Doom vs. Vader. I didn't think the one in Doom vs. Vader was that bad either.
Yeah.
The only thing that was kind of confusing is why did the Doombot bleed? But anyways, yeah. But yeah, this one's very dialogue heavy, very back and forth banter. It was really cool, and that's helped even further by the voice acting, which, yeah.
Yeah. So Gianni came back for Lex, and Stephen Kelly came in as Lex as Dr. Doom.
Yeah. Then I actually did not see that one coming.
I mean, I can totally see why, honestly.
Like I remember when the voice actors were announced, and Blazer was like, "I'm surprised people didn't realize it was that was Steven." Like, after his portrayal as Dracula, and I'm going back to him, I'm like, I guess I can hear it. And then he just straight up says Dracula lines, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, yeah, that's him. Like if they had that enough talk line in the preview, I'd have been like, oh yeah, that's him. Speaking of, so when we saw the preview didn't have sound. Okay, it didn't have sound effects.
It just had voice acting.
Yeah, it just had the voice acting and the music. So one big change was that was on Doom. The preview doesn't have the voice filter.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were like, okay, this is a good sounding voice, but like they need to add a filter. And then they added a filter, and everyone was all right.
There you go.
And everyone was like, yep, this is exactly it. That's Doom. And Gianni sounds so much better than he did before.
Yeah.
Like I'd definitely say he's improved.
Yeah, I think. Like he definitely sounds good. It's just I don't know.
Think
I guess I'm just so used to him watching Iron Man vs. Lex Luthor to like say, is this better? I'm like, yeah. I can agree.
Fair. Like I think going back to Lex versus Iron Man, like there were some parts where Gianni kind of like changed the tone of his voice to match a line or something. It was weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
But this one, no, it's consistent the whole way through. And it's really good acting. Like his like scream in defeat at the end is so good.
Yeah.
Like wow, Lex really did that really made me think. Oh wow, yeah, Lex is pissed.
Yeah, and I mean even his delivery on like the Superman, like that.
That was cool.
It was really well delivered.
Like I can tell there's like a bit like I can feel like a bit of like a hint of Clancy Brown in there. It's not Clancy Brown, but not even close. But like he has that tone. I feel.
Yeah.
From what I've seen from like the Justice League cartoons. And then Steven, like he sounds like Doom. Like he sounds like how Doom would sound. It doesn't match any of Doom's voices I've noticed, but like it's its own thing, but it works.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Yeah, it definitely works. Good change.
Yeah. And it helps like both of their voice acting helps their lines a lot. Like Doom's final line before the fight ends. Dude, like when he swaps minds with Lex, it's like that mask is my true face. I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I'm gonna get a ton of flack for saying this. This is probably my favorite voice performance this season so far.
I mean, I can definitely see why. I'm not sure if I agree, but I definitely.
Like, okay, I should clarify. Like, the obvious contenders are Philip and Keston in Yoda versus Mickey. Like, even when that fight was announced, everyone was like, "Dude, these voice actors are spot on." And I agree, they were. I think they nail the voices of the characters better than Gianni and Steven do. But like they obviously like those characters only have one specific voice that you have to go for, and they went for it.
But like these, like have the spirit of the characters. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although something totally off topic, but something I found interesting. I went and watched some scenes from Kingdom Hearts 3 featuring Mickey, and I didn't realize they have a new voice actor for they got a different voice actor for him, and he sounds awful.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I'm gonna try. Well, now I know what I'm doing after this podcast. I'm very curious.
Okay, I'm exaggerating. It doesn't sound awful, but like you can tell, like, wait, that's not Mickey.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I think the voice, like the voice accuracy in Yoda vs. Mickey is way better, but I think the actual performances here are better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like every line they say is like that's what Lex would say, or that's what Doom would say. Like that's, and that's how they would say it. So cool stuff all around. It's also nice to hear Gianni again after like what 4 years.
His last one was Nathan. At the beginning of season 4. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's been a while, my dude, and you've definitely improved your craft in those 4 years.
Yeah. Just come back more, please, Andrew.
Please. In fact, this might. So for the longest time, I think most people agreed that Gianni's best voice performance was Sweet Tooth. I think most people agreed with that. But I think this might overtake it.
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth's still good. Like Sweet Tooth is still good, but this might be better. I think most people will be like, oh yeah, this is Gianni's best performance.
Makes sense.
So that's cool. Yeah, I just hope he comes back for more. He's got quite some lost time to make up for.
Oh yeah.
And I await the day he comes back.
Yeah. And then actually, I actually hear people say that they don't like Stephen Kelly's Doom. Like, think it's his. I mean, I don't know if I agree, but I think people say it's his worst performance.
I don't agree. I actually don't know what I would say his weakest is.
I mean, he's had a lot of really good performances, so I wouldn't consider any of them his weakest.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd have to disagree. I think this actually it's either this one or Dracula. I'd say is probably like his best ones.
Yeah.
Although I can't deny the range on this man. Like he goes from like sounding like Waldstein to somewhat sounding like Ewan McGregor to this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, credit where credit is due. Plus, I mean, if this is what people consider to be his weakest performance, then I think that more so complements his other ones as opposed to puts down this one.
Yeah, honestly.
That just shows how good he was in this. Like when I saw the preview, I thought it was Ultron's actor, Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
He sounds like a human Ultron. But then they put the filter on, and then he said some Dracula lines. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's Stephen Kelly. But yeah. And that just, I guess at that point now, that just leaves the music. Apex of Doom. It's alright. It works.
It's not bad. It's just, it's sleeper on its own. It's only really good as background music, in my opinion. The background.
It works. It works for what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It sounds great in the fight.
But, well, like I said, it's good background music. It's good for the fight. It's not good on its own, in my opinion. Or it's not that good on its own.
I think it's fine on its own. I mean, it's one you have to listen to while you're doing something, as opposed to listening to it and trying to pay attention, or just rocking out to it like Chaos Unraveled. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think this is probably the weakest thing about the episode, and probably the weakest track this season so far.
I mean, to be fair, when its competition is a beautiful orchestral track and Chaos Unraveled, aka sex, how do you compete with that?
Fair. I'll give you that. No, that was funny. But yeah. So yeah, that's Lex vs. Doom. I want to point out we are 3 episodes into season 8, and all 3 of them have perfectly valid reasons to be considered the best one of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. Hot dang, that's a good track record.
Yeah.
So far.
Let me put this. Let me just imagine this for a second. Hypothetically speaking, imagine these 3 episodes end up being the weakest of the season. Just imagine.
Dear gosh. That's gonna be. Oh boy.
Imagine if these 3 episodes. I should clarify. This is probably not going to happen, but well, I mean, it is possible, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But just imagine for a second, we get to the end of the season, and these 3 end up being at the very bottom. Imagine what that would say for the other 13. I had to do math for a second. 13.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah.
If these 3 are the weakest episodes of the season, I consider that an absolute win. That sounds like a backhanded compliment, but it's not. Oh
my god.
But these episodes are amazing. They've done so much with this.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna get some flack for this. This is probably my least favorite out of the 3.
Valid.
But, I'm not even saying that. Yeah, it's really good, honestly. So.
No, that's valid. I felt the same when I first watched it. I think going forward, I don't know. I'm so okay. So so the way I see it is, I prefer Shadow versus Ryuko.
Yeah, same. But that's honestly
that one's probably at the top for me.
But maybe, I don't know.
But deciding between this fight and Yoda versus Mickey is really tough for me. I don't feel confident saying anything, but
you don't have to. You can just wait.
I think at the moment, just to eyeball it, I think at the moment I'm gonna say Yoda versus Mickey, but barely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard, honestly, because I don't know. All 3 episodes have so much good about them, but just choosing them is probably just gonna be like a thing like which one like suit you need more. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, honestly, I think just Yoda, Mickey, and Shadow Ryuko have more like that have less dull moments in them, I guess.
Fair.
But like, it's a hard bar to think. Yeah. Plus, it doesn't have Chaos Unravel, trash bin. Anyway, that's a joke.
To be fair, like even Brandon said, like yeah, competing with Chaos Unravel is gonna be tough. Like someone when the album cover reveal dropped on Twitter, someone commented like, "Oh man, I hope this track is as good as Chaos Unraveled, if not better." And Brandon's like, "Oh, that might be setting the bar a bit too high."
Yeah.
I knew going in like Chaos Unravel was going to be better anyway, so I knew what I was stepping into. But yeah, that's yeah. An episode that has practically no right to be as good as it is, but
yeah,
boy howdy, am I glad that it is as good as it is.
Yeah, same. Honestly, like look, and like honestly, like obviously I had no competition competing with Iron Man Lex, but looking back, I do think it's better than Duke versus Vader. Like,
oh, no question, no question.
Yeah, like that episode, and like I rewatched it and like, yeah, it's yeah,
it's still fine. Like
it's fine, but like it's I definitely like it a lot less.
Yeah.
So.
Although interestingly enough, like you said your piece on it, but I've actually seen people say they prefer this over Lex versus Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised.
I mean, obviously
like,
opinions be opinions, but like,
yeah. I mean, in some cases, in some instances, I can see why.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely some stuff that this episode does better. And looking back, Iron Man vs. Lex is still amazing, but it definitely is starting to show its age. It's still like again, it's still amazing. It's still an amazing fight. But
yeah, but I do see like it is starting to age a little bit. Show its age at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally disagree. Like I still prefer Lex versus Iron Man. I just think the climax is just like carries that fight in spades.
Oh, yeah.
And I also
sure.
and it's also biased because Iron Man's my favorite character. But
yeah, that's fine.
But yeah. Okay, my favorite Marvel character, I should say. Before people start getting confused. But yeah.
You lied to us. No.
I've lied to you for how long? However long it's been since we've known each other.
Exactly.
But yeah.
God.
So, yeah, that's Lex vs. Doom.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty solid. I am curious actually where Richard would have ranked it among the three. Actually, I think in his review he said he liked it more than Shadow Ryuko, but
yeah, I think so.
yeah,
I think it goes without saying that he probably prefers this over Doom versus Vader.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, the freaking season ranking is going to be interesting this year.
Oh man.
Like I thought last year's was insane. This year.
I mean, we're getting another hiatus, a mid-season hiatus this time, so we definitely have more time to think about at least these three.
True.
Maybe the next
8.
Maybe the next 5. I don't know, because
yeah,
it would start it after
8.
episode 8. So yeah, 5. We're almost halfway done with the first half of the season. Oh my gosh, where does the time go?
Which leads us to...
Yes. So, if you thought if you thought this episode being like amazing was a surprise, oh boy, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yep, we go from one villainous pair of
Villains.
Yeah, irony villains. I'm blanking on the word. The one where they have a lot of money. To another.
We're getting one pair of villainous villains to another. That's the title. That's the title of this episode. Pair of villainous villains.
Yes. All right. Oh my God. So, you guys ready to? So you guys best beware of these two fatal furies, or else your life may be taken away.
Wow.
With that, let's introduce Heihachi Mishima versus Geese Howard.
Didn't see this one coming.
I
mean, it makes sense in hindsight, but like when this was announced, I was like, wait, what?
I expected it somewhere this season, but like I didn't expect it to be the 4th episode.
Dude, I keep having like my own like season 8 lineup in the back of my head, and there were times when I would add Heihachi versus Geese, but there were times when they probably wouldn't do that this season. I knew they were gonna do it, but
hey, bro, guess what? It's happening this season.
Yeah, right.
Fun fact.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah. We finally got another Fatal Fury character after 3 or 5
years.
Yeah, because
gosh, I feel that,
when was Terry versus Frick? Yeah, and on top of that, Tekken returns. Yay!
So yeah, cool. Heihachi versus Geese. It's a match everyone's been wanting for a while.
Yep.
It's a match that has a lot of potential going for. I don't know what more could really be said. It's Heihachi versus Geese. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah. Highly requested. Finally happening. Yay.
And this is super, like, it kind of harkens back to our discussion on Saber versus John. Like, we'd have so much excitement for this one, but I don't think either of us are. I don't think either of us are really that like invested in these franchises.
Yeah, I mean, I know they exist.
Yeah, like I've played Tekken 7. I don't have it anymore, but because man, that game is huge. It ate up a lot of space on my PS4.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't actually play it. Like, I played it, I beat the story, and then I played it a little bit afterwards, and then I got to a point where I was like, I don't play this anymore, so I just got rid of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Gosh, like unrelated, but like on like a similar note, like Mortal Kombat takes up so much room on Switch. We're like, why? Anyway. Gosh.
They keep adding DLC to it. That's why.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just like, okay.
Well, to be fair, Tekken 7's no slouch in the DLC department either.
Yeah, that's true.
Adding in so many characters, including Geese, funnily enough.
Yeah. They knew.
But we have that. We have Noctis. We have Negan of all people. Like, what?
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
I haven't been keeping up with Tekken 7 news in a while. I don't know if they're still. I don't know if they dropped that game yet. Because if they did, then they're probably working on Tekken 8 now.
Probably. And I mean, spoiler alert. Not like it'll matter for this fight.
No, probably not.
Yeah, because and I was gonna make this joke. They picked a good time to do this fight because spoiler, Heihachi's King dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Whoops.
if there was a more opportune time to do it, I don't know what it is.
I mean, like, aside from this new King of Fighters game coming out, apparently, well, I mean, Fatal Fury is pretty freaking dead, but the King of Fighters is still, like, somewhat kicking, I think. But yeah, so yeah, cool. Okay, so I had to scroll through, but I do have, I wanted to plug in the reason why this fight is happening.
Yep.
This season.
Go ahead.
So once again, this is from Graham Blazer, who is not working on this fight, but shish, his opinion still counts. And once again, this is a direct quote. Fighting game matches, like Marvel vs. DC or a lot of shonen stuff, are a staple of versus debating and the show itself, so it was another genre that we felt needed to be represented this year. Of the matches left, Heihachi vs. Geese has consistently been one of the top requests of all time, with Tekken and Fatal Fury both being in need of a run back after some pretty long absences. It's also an episode in which, while it hasn't been discussed much publicly, the whole team has wanted to do for a very long time. Hope you all look forward to it. Swan and animators effing killed it. Which leads me to another note, which we kind of forgot to mention for Lex vs. Doom. Liam's directing this one.
Oh yeah, he's directing 2 in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row. He went from the classic of all classic Marvel vs. DC villain fights to fighting games. What a mood swing. But it's still cool. And after Lex vs. Doom ended up being phenomenal, like that definitely helps.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention because the way he phrased it might confuse a lot of people. But I just wanted to preface this now. No, I don't think this deconfirms fights like Liu Kang versus Jago.
Yeah.
Someone could like when the quote like of the matches left, I think kind of threw a lot of people off.
Fun fact, guys. There's a lot of fighting games and a lot of fighting game matchups. So
yeah.
I'm sure
that quote does borderline confirm that we're getting a shonen character this season, and I know that doesn't sound like sounds obvious, but like season 3 almost went its entire season without an anime character, so I mean
yeah.
So that might not be as obvious as you may think, but it is still. So hey, cool! Can't wait to see Aizen get eaten alive by Madara. That's probably happening this season.
Yeah. Let's be honest. If not, I'm surprised.
Yeah. With how many Naruto fights they're doing nowadays, like they got to get Madara versus Aizen in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. So.
Yeah. And honestly, I kind of was expecting Liu Kang versus Jago to be like the first fighting game matchup, but like
I am kind of surprised that like obviously looking at it now, like it was a good call, like because I thought we'd be getting a Mortal Kombat fight this time instead of Heihachi versus Geese because of the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the schedule between like this episode and the new release date of the Mortal Kombat movie, like that was a good call, but because off topic, but I don't know if anyone heard. I don't know if anyone watching heard, but the Mortal Kombat movie got delayed a week. To have Godzilla vs. Kong get as much hype as it can, because both being made by Warner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's whatever. It sucks, but it's whatever. It's one extra week. We've been waiting for how long for that movie? I can wait another week.
Also, important fact: it's not a cheese character. Woohoo!
Yeah, which is another thing that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it was funny because Blazer, before this fight was announced, Blazer said when he asked if people had any guesses on the next time, if anyone knew or if anyone dropped any hints or something. But all we really had is that it was just the nature of the season. So he was like, okay, so basically you guys are gonna get this is probably going to be a surprise, but a welcome one. And I see this fight announced, I'm like, yeah, that checks out. Totally did not expect this fight to happen at least this soon. Part of me wasn't even expecting it to happen this season, but I mean, hey, I welcome it because I like Heihachi. Heihachi's cool. And I'm sure Geese is cool as well. I wouldn't know, but anyways, yeah. What were we saying?
Also, fun fact: this is actually our 4th fighting game villain episode, and this is the first one that doesn't include Mortal Kombat.
Huh.
So there's that.
Huh. Okay. Sure. I didn't. How did you say that? That's interesting. But okay, I guess let's get into some production.
Alright, it is another 2D fight.
Yeah, which may surprise a lot of people. I mean, after Ryu vs. Jin and both Heihachi and Geese having really good models that conveniently enough come from the same game. Yeah, that was definitely a bit surprising, but I mean, I still welcome it.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, hey, like King of Fighters and Fatal Fury have really good sprites, and the Heihachi ones are really good, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, we have that 1-minute melee, which isn't great, but it shows like the capabilities of the sprites. So, that one's just ruined by like, for one, they pronounce Heihachi's name wrong, which will never not be funny. Oh, and Kuma showed up out of absolutely nowhere. I really hope that doesn't happen in this episode. I mean, if Kuma's showing up, it's probably just to start the fight and Geese just kills him or something.
Oh gosh, I can see it.
I really hope that's not the case because I like Kuma from what little I've seen of him, but yeah, but I mean, I feel like I've said this already. I have said this already, but like the 2D team can make like the worst of the worst matchups look cool. So like to have this and it be a good match, like yeah, we're in for a treat. I can already tell. They didn't even need to show off that first frame of the animation, which by the way, yeah, they did that again. It's not as outlandish as the one we saw for Lex vs. Doom, but
no.
It's literally just a volcano, but it's a freaking good-looking volcano. So I mean, whatever.
I mean, and it fits Heihachi, so.
Yeah, it's true. It does. Sure. Which means that if he dies, he's gonna get thrown into it again.
Yep.
So yeah. Whoops.
So that's fun.
Watch the environment be like the reason why one of them wins. Like if they fought on a building, Heihachi would win by throwing Geese off of it, or if they were fighting on a volcano, Geese would win by throwing Heihachi into it. Like,
or the loser falls off a building into the volcano.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah. So yeah, cool. I mean, like, yeah, there's not really much we can say to that. It's a 2D fight. It's whatever. Like it works.
I mean, it's semi-disappointed, but like, I don't care.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We'll get a 3D fight before you know it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Like it's really not that big a deal. But yeah. I don't know what more. I'm curious what they'll do with voice acting.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
very
curious.
I hope they don't do they just don't go with the voice clips.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that either. I feel like such a disappointment after having 3 fights with amazing voice acting. An idea I heard is that they'd go the Dragon Sword versus Mechagodzilla route and have
have one of them have Heihachi in completely Japanese and then Geese.
Yeah. Geese more so be like Japanese speaking English, but
Has Heihachi actually ever spoken English?
not in any mainline games. He's voiced in English in the Blood Vengeance movie and in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And I believe others. I could be wrong, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, those are the two I remember. Like he was voiced in English, and though at least there was an option to have them in English. Obviously there was an option to have them in Japanese as well, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's definitely possible to go that route, or they'll just go like both of them speak English. Although either way, whoever they get is kind of in an uphill battle compared to their official voice actors. Especially if they go Japanese. A lot of people praise the crap out of Heihachi's Japanese voice acting. Which, fun fact, is the same voice actor as old Joseph Joestar.
That's funny.
And what's even funnier is in Tekken 7, Geese is voiced by Richard Epcar, who is the English voice of old Joseph Joestar.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
That's great.
So yeah, and regardless of what they do, I don't know who the heck they're gonna get.
Yeah.
I keep thinking, like I keep going back to Heihachi's English voice, and be like, all right, who could be a good voice actor for this guy? And I'm just like, I don't know. I really don't know. This is like, this one's tough. And Geese too. Like I have no idea what they will do for Geese.
I don't know. I got nothing, honestly.
Yeah. If you ask me, I'd probably prefer if they went both English, but I can accept Heihachi being in Japanese.
Sounds fun.
Either way, like at least get voice actors. Like I don't care if they're English or Japanese, just have them be there. So yeah. Not much there. Not much to comment on the music either.
I expect it to be good.
I expect it to, yes.
I know that's pretty general, but like same with Shadow Ryuko. Like these do have some pretty good soundtracks. So.
Yeah.
Much like King of Fighters.
So. Yeah, I've really got. I mean, this could really go to either Brandon or Thurl at this point, but
they're gonna sneak in Jungle Outpost. I know it.
But they're not in the jungle though.
Not done. Well, okay, neither was Ken versus Gary.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But alright, with that out of the way, so yeah, what's happening with the debate? So this actually may come. So this may actually come as a surprise to a lot of viewers, but this fight's actually not as one-sided as we all expected it to be. Like, wow, well that's 2 in a row. The way it's looking right now is okay. Geese is faster without much question.
Did you say they were even in strength?
Yeah, both are like at the moment. We're looking into both. More so King of Fighters. It looks like Tekken's still pretty set in stone. But yeah, at the moment it looks like both are getting city. Maybe higher. They'll probably bring up the
Kazuya feat.
yeah, the Kazuya feat.
Yeah.
They'll probably bring up how Heihachi can like one-shot Jack robots, and we know how powerful those things are. They're absolute. It's an absolute nothing feat, but they're absolutely going to mention Heihachi catching a bullet in his teeth.
Yeah, if nothing else, just because it's cool.
Yeah, they'll mention it because it's cool. Kind of like what they did with Lex, the whole getting shot out of the helicopter. Like, that's an absolutely nothing feat compared to everything else he's got, but they mention it anyway because it's funny. But yeah, it's looking like both are getting city. Heihachi's getting like sub-relativistic. The highest we have on this vlog, I don't know if that's the highest or just the one we have so far, is like 2% the speed of light. Yeah, dodging Kazuya's laser.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Geese is getting like 4 times the speed of light. Being able to move in tandem with like comparable to someone who can move in tandem with their own light attacks. So yeah, Geese is definitely faster. But Heihachi could, like, there could be some big power gap for Heihachi that could net him the win. Also, this means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things for this fight, but Heihachi also has like soul hacks resistance.
Oh yeah.
Because he survived Akuma's Raging Demon. Granted, obviously, like we know it's different. It's not the same Akuma. Like it's definitely safe to say that Tekken Akuma and Street Fighter Akuma aren't the same. But I think that might still apply. It means absolutely nothing to this fight because Geese doesn't have anything like that anyway. But
yeah, it's just good to bring up.
Yeah. In fact, this might be our first strictly physical fight in a while. Because these two have like, aside from this resistance, these two have like no hacks at all.
It was just a good old fist fight.
Yep, which I am down for. At that point, it's just who's stronger, who's faster. It seems like the answers are Heihachi and Geese, respectively.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like everyone at least went into the fight like, oh yeah, Geese.
It's like, oh yeah, Geese wins.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, because I'm not actually like, I'm not sure who I'm going for right now, honestly. Like,
I mean, if Heihachi, okay, at the moment, I think I'm gonna stick with. At the moment, I think I'm gonna stick with Geese until, just because like that was the norm. That was the consensus for the longest time, and I just don't feel like going against it just yet.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's what happened with John Tubby versus Saber, so.
True.
So I wouldn't. Well, I would right now.
But if Heihachi does win, I prefer it. I actually would prefer Heihachi to win. But aside from that, I like Heihachi. He's cool. And this fight's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. So I mean, if he does win, then cool.
Yeah, and I'm cool with the other winning, and the fact that this is really close, I'm very interested to see what outcome they're going to come up with. So
Something else. Something else that's interesting. This has nothing to do with who wins. I just wanted to mention the researchers for this one.
Because
it's actually interesting.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So Heihachi's being researched by Alicia, aka Nocturne Bros, or Kirsch, or whatever you want to call her. And Geese is being researched by DJ Tiki, our boy.
Those. Now you may be thinking, those two sound familiar. But
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why they sound familiar, because they were or still are. I've lost track. Crossover X members. And what's interesting about this is that I think Tiki said that this is like the first match they've ever debated. Was Heihachi versus Geese. And they haven't worked with each other in so long.
that's cool.
Because, like I said, I don't know if these two are still members of Crossover X anymore, but at the very least, like Nocturne's been busy with Death Battle. Like she joined Death Battle before Tiki did. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. And so it was kind of like a breath of fresh air, I suppose, for those two. Being able to work with each other again.
Cool.
So yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to see what that will entail. But couple that with Liam's writing and directing, and yeah, we got quite. We're in for a treat, I would say.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out. So.
Yeah. So cool. I don't know what more we can add to this. But
yeah,
but-
you can tell we don't really know these characters.
All I'm gonna say is expect Geese to win, but do not be surprised at all if Heihachi wins. That's the impression I'm getting at here.
Basically. Yeah. And I'm very curious because if Geese actually wins, it's gonna make Fatal Fury 3-0. So
Yeah, it's gonna make Tekken 2-0 or 0-2, I should
Yes.
say.
Yeah, so a lot's on the line here.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing else. Tekken will when Kazuya mops the floor with Wesker.
True.
He'll get a win then. Unless I'm pretty sure he still does.
Yeah, he probably still does.
Okay.
I haven't seen any big buffs for Wesker lately.
Okay.
There's also Elisa versus Penny, which, from what I've heard, is still an Elisa win. So, which makes me uber sad, but so please don't do it yet. I can't. I won't say anything. But I won't say anything for this podcast. But I'm not ready for Penny to be in Death Battle just yet.
Understandable.
I'm not emotionally ready. Yeah, I'll say more off screen in off screen
Yeah,
land.
that makes sense.
But yeah, and I can't think of any other Tekken wins.
I'm sure there's some, we're just not thinking of it.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, like Tekken's best chance of coming back to Death Battle is Kazuya.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if Nina versus Cammy still exists. in Death
That's
Battle.
true. That's true. Actually, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't disagree that fight would still probably exist, but I don't know if that's a win still. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah. Let's
see.
say that. Yeah, I could just keep trying to think of like attacking characters that could beat whatever opponent they're put up against, and I just can't think of any. I also just can't think of any other Tekken matches in general. So,
Yeah, that's right.
for such a big cast, they don't really have a lot of death battle requests.
Let's see.
Well,
King versus. Well, no.
yeah, I mean, there's King versus Mika, but I'm pretty sure Mika actually wins that.
I mean, there's also ZDogg and Incineroar.
Okay, well, Incineroar absolutely wins. I can't comment on Tizok.
I think that's how you say it. But
I hope that's how you say it. But yeah. To be fair, I don't think King of Fighters is getting another match anymore. Like, I don't think there's anything more with them, unless I am horribly mistaken. But
you probably are. I'm pretty sure there are more matches for them, but.
I mean, there is Cool versus Sub-Zero. I'm pretty sure that still exists, but I don't see a lot of people talking about that one anymore.
Wait, 1 second. Sorry.
But yeah. Anyways, so
Got it. Sorry about that. If you could hear that.
barely.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. So that's enough of that. We should probably wrap things up.
Yeah. I mean, I thought we were gonna do like a bonus topic, but it doesn't really work if Richard's not here. So let's
we'll save that for next time. Yeah, it doesn't work when Richard's not here.
So if you're wondering what we're talking about, tune in next time.
We said to tune in this episode, but no. You're gonna have to wait a little while longer. But yeah. So hey Richard, what do you think about Lex versus Doom and Heihachi versus Geese?
Dr. Doom versus Lex Luthor is arguably my second favorite 2D sprite of this season, and I loved everything about it. And I am indifferent towards Heihachi versus Geese, but I'm looking forward to the god tier animation.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man. So with that, I think we're good.
Yep. Short and sweet this time, but you know what? Whatever.
Yep. Well, to be fair, it's not like these two matchups have like a lot to talk about.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Hopefully, whatever comes after Heihachi versus Geese will have a bit more discussion to go through. Hopefully with characters we know more about.
Hopefully, yeah, we probably should have gotten someone else on, but whatever.
Yeah, we didn't have. Scheduling is not in our favor anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, guests might actually be. I don't know what we're gonna do with guests anymore. Like,
yeah, that's right.
I don't know if we have that in our schedule anymore. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Either way, I am losing my voice, so let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed Heihachi vs. Geese. I know we will. Hope you enjoyed Lex vs. Doom. If you didn't, why?
That's gonna be our thing this season, isn't it? Like, if you didn't, why?
Probably.
Yeah. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya.